It is very lamentable that medical doctors and psychiatrists reject the accounts of victims of abuse, pathologize them with some concocted cockamamie medical condition, and send them home with pills. It's very, very wrong to do that. To refuse to recognize the psychological background of symptom disorders or somatic symptom disorders is wrong, both diagnostically but also as a practice. We invalidate the victim by converting her into a malingerer or a faker or into someone with a neurologically recognized neurological condition, which does not exist. In the vast majority of cases of victims of abuse, medical tests yield nothing. And there's no reason to insist on reductionism. Everything is the brain. Everything is the body. Yes, it manifests through the body. Yes, it involves the brain, but it's not reducible to either. It's a psychological condition, holistic. And so today victims get very little succor and help and understanding and acceptance from the medical professions because there is a refusal to acknowledge, there is a denial of the pathway between psychology and body, mind and body. It's as if the mind is nothing but a bodily function, when manifestly and expressly and patently it's not. It cannot be reduced to the body only. It can work through the body. It can talk, the mind can talk through the body. The mind can manifest through the body, but it's not concomitant. It's not coextant. It's not the same as the body. There are subsets of functional neurological disorders, which include functional movement disorders and functional seizures and functional sensory disorders. It's all very true. And yes, the doctor, the medical doctor, the psychiatrist, who is also a medical doctor, they have to invest a lot of effort in testing, eliminating, diagnosing, writing down anamnesis, exploring like detectives the etiology, perusing the symptoms, constructing all kinds of tests to see how the patient functions in a variety of settings and circumstances and environments and reactions to other people and so on. They have to work hard. They have to work hard because conversion symptom is a simulation. Conversion disorder is a simulation. It's an imitation. The patient cannot verbalize sufficiently or doesn't dare to acknowledge or to be conscious of what is happening to her, the abuse, the trauma. The patient denies the abuse and trauma. And so this hidden, buried, repressed knowledge has to manifest somehow, has to be communicated somehow, is to erupt somehow. And what the patient does, she imitates other conditions which are medical and have nothing to do with trauma and abuse, thereby trying to convince herself that the problem is not trauma, the problem is not abuse, the problem is a brain, the problem is a spine, the problem is a whatever. Her body is a problem. It's a form of autoplastic defense. It's like the patient says, nothing bad is happening to me, nothing wrong. I'm being treated fairly and squarely and nicely, and you know, it's my problem. I'm the one. I'm guilty. I'm to blame. My body is wrong. Is working in all the wrong ways. I'm defective. I'm deformed. I am the core of the problem, not the solution. And so it is displacing the blame and the guilt, shifting it to the victim. And the victim is the one who is doing this via somatic symptom disorders. It's as if the victim is assuming the responsibility and the accountability for the abuse, internalizing it, digesting it, and letting it poison poison her body. And the body rebels. The body not only keeps the score, but it rebels. Somatic symptom disorders is a rebellion, an eruption of the body against this unjustified assumption of responsibility for being mistreated, for being abused, for being traumatized, for being tortured, for being tormented. There's a great number. The problem with conversion disorders and somatic symptom disorders is the number of symptoms is huge, because the patients or the victims are very creative, and any part of the body, any organ, any system, any limb, any surface area, anything can serve as a communication channel. Anything can be recruited to express the inexpressible, to communicate and discuss the horror of abuse and trauma. So the number of symptoms is literally unlimited in functional neurological disorders, in conversion disorders, somatic symptom disorders. The symptoms are very real. They're experienced as real. They have adverse outcomes, adverse impacts on the body. But the origin, the etiology is much more complex, because it involves a dominant component, dominant ingredient of psychology, severe psychological trauma. The neurological dysfunction is idiopathic, but the etiology is very often psychological. The core symptoms are sensory and motoric, but they still try to somehow symbolically communicate the trauma and abuse background, which was Freud's initial insight, that it is a language actually. So limb weakness, paralysis, non-epileptic seizures, movement disorders, tremors, dystonia, spasms, myoclonus, jerky movements, loss of vision, double vision, dysphonia, whispering speech.